What's up, my brothers? Today I'd like to talk about the morality of SEAmaxxing. Now, what is SEAmaxxing? SEAmaxxing. SEAmaxxing is the practice of a man improving one's dating chances as a Westerner by dating in Southeast Asia. Now, it's not limited to Southeast Asia. You could also use SEAmaxxing as traveling overseas to a developing country, like traveling to Eastern Europe, traveling to Africa, traveling to any other developing nation in order to maximize your chances of mating. That's what that means. Now, morality. Let's talk about morality. Morality is the differentiation of intentions, decisions, and actions between those that are distinguished as proper and those that are improper. That's what morality means. So now, I'm going to be upfront. Do I have a problem with men SEAmaxxing? No. At the end of the day, your job is to pass on your genetics. That's the only purpose that you have in this world. Humans, with our bigger brains, we like to add in other pieces, to our meaning, but we're self-important. In a nutshell, though, the only reason why you're here is to pass on your genetics. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. And so I have no problem with a man maximizing his mating opportunities overseas. Do what you have to do because it's your biological imperative. And if you don't succeed in that biological imperative, a lot of times, a lot of men, they suffer in silence. They suffer a lifetime of despair because they weren't able to fulfill their biological imperative. I don't care what any bachelor says. There is some part of your mind where you feel like a failure. So at the end of the day, you do what you have to do in order to increase your mating opportunities. Now, when it comes to the morality, brothers, I want to ask you this. How would you feel if another man came into your home, seduced your wife, had sex with your wife, and she ended up bearing his children? How would you feel? You'd be angry. You may be homicidal. You may be suicidal. In the end, you're going to feel some type of way. Now, it's not completely analogous to you traveling to a different country, but the similarities are there. You have to ask yourself, how do those men in those developing nations feel when they see you as a Westerner using your advantages to take their women? How do you think it makes them feel? They're shorter in stature due to that population's genetics and their diet, so they can't compete with you in physical stature. They can't compete with you when it comes to money because you come from a developed but post-industrialized nation and they're in a third world country, so they can't compete with you economically. You have an unfair advantage. You couldn't succeed in your own homeland, so you're going to go to another homeland and you're going to take advantage of that. How do you think it makes them feel? All you're doing is transferring your problems to another man. And in a lot of cases, people would consider that immoral. When you have problems, you have to figure that out on your own. You don't push those problems on other men. That's what I'm saying. It's something to consider. Now, at the end of the day, I believe that you do what you have to do. Do I think it's immoral to kill animals? Yes, I do. That's why I don't hunt. But at the end of the day, I need protein. I like meat. So at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I have to do. If I was forced to struggle, if I was forced to live outdoors, if I was forced to survive without the comforts of modern society and I would have to kill a deer, I would have to kill something wild, I would do it for survival. So when it comes to survival, you do what you have to do. But in this case, I'd like you to think about what you're doing when you decide to travel. It's just something to think about. Now, if it doesn't sway you and you're going to do what you're going to do, hey, that's okay. But if you have second thoughts, hey, take those second thoughts into consideration. Because at the end of the day, you are stealing from another man's plate. I know you don't want to think of it that way, but that's essentially what you're doing when you go out and SEAmaxx. That's what you're doing. Should you stick it out in your home country, and if you fail, you just fail? Or do you want to do anything, whatever you can to maximize your mating chances and possibly steal another man's chance at mating? Something to think about. All right, brothers, peace.